Have you ever felt that subtle tension, that kind of nagging pull between the person you present to the world, your public self, your image, and who you truly feel you are deep down?
Yeah, definitely.
Or wondered why some efforts, some connections, they feel genuinely authentic, while others, well, they look perfect on the outside, but just seem, I don't know, hollow. We've all been there, right? Trying to figure out integrity, both in how we deal with others and just in our own inner world.
Absolutely.
So today, our mission is to really dig into that, a deep dive into this, well, timeless theme, inner integrity versus outward appearance. And we're pulling some really powerful insights from ancient texts that, maybe surprisingly, cut right to the core of our modern issues.
And what's really striking here, I think, is how these texts, they're millennia old, but they offer such a sharp, practical lens for our world today.
Right.
Think about, the performative stuff on social media or that whole fake it till you make it culture.
Oh.
These ancient sources, they speak directly to why that often rings hollow. They give surprisingly clear guidance for finding true authenticity today. Help us understand what it really means to be aligned, inside and out.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our first stop takes us right into a really powerful warning from Jesus himself. It's in Matthew 23. And he really doesn't hold back, does he?
No, not at all.
He gives this very direct critique of the scribes and Pharisees. Now, for anyone less familiar, these were basically the religious scholars, the community leaders of their time.
Kind of the establishment figures.
Exactly, like maybe the meticulously law-abiding public figures or thought leaders back then, but with a big blind spot. Jesus accuses them of superficial piety. He says, and I'm quoting here, "Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites."
Oof, start strong.
Right. You pay tithes of mint and dill and cumin and have neglected the weightier things of the law, judgment and mercy and fidelity. But these you should have done without neglecting the others.
Yeah.
That's quite a statement. He's pointing out, a massive misplacement of priority.
It absolutely is. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, Jesus isn't saying those small observances are bad in themselves. He even adds, without neglecting the others.
Right.
The issue he's hitting on is this profound imbalance, like a kind of spiritual tunnel vision. And he uses this incredibly vivid, almost darkly funny image to drive it home, he calls them.
Yeah.
Blind guides who strain out the gnat and swallow the camel.
Ah, that's unforgettable, isn't it?
It really is. Imagine someone, meticulously filtering this tiny speck, a gnat, from their drink.
So careful.
Yes, super careful. But then they're totally fine gulping down something huge and obvious like a camel. It just perfectly shows prioritizing minor external things like, tithing on tiny herbs.
Right, the mint and dill.
Exactly, while completely missing the enormous fundamental ethical stuff, the core principles that actually matter. It's like obsessing over the font size on a report, but completely missing the main point.
That paints such a clear picture. Misplaced focus. Mm-hmm. But he keeps going, doesn't he? He uses this powerful inside-out metaphor for cleansing. I find this so striking, so relevant. Mm-hmm. He says, "Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You cleanse the outside of cup and dish, but inside they are full of plunder and self-indulgence."
Wow.
The blind Pharisee cleanse first the inside of the cup so that the outside also may be clean. That image, the clean, polished outside, but hiding a dirty, corrupt inside. It really hits home.
It does. But it also makes you wonder, in our own lives, how do we actually know when we're falling into that trap? Are there subtle red flags? Things that tell us we're just polishing the outside of the cup? That's a really good question to sit with. I think often it's that feeling you mentioned earlier, that hollowness, or maybe a creeping sense of unease when, our public persona doesn't quite match our private thoughts or feelings.
Okay.
Jesus's words here, they suggest looking for that disconnect between appearance and motivation. If we're doing things mainly for external validation, to keep up an image, rather than from genuine conviction, well, that's a red flag.
Right.
He's telling us that real holiness, true integrity, it starts within. It's about where the transformation actually begins. The heart, the motives. An outward show of piety, it means very little if the inside is full of plunder and self-indulgence, like chasing personal gain or status or gratification, maybe even at others' expense. Mm-hmm. It's a deep call for internal alignment, asking us to be, brutally honest with ourselves.
Well, Jesus gives this really stark warning about, spiritual pretense, the dangers of it.
Yeah.
But if that's the pitfall, what's the alternative? What does genuine integrity look like when it's actually lived out?
Yeah, what's the positive model?
Exactly. And this is where the Apostle Paul gives us a really compelling contrast. We can turn to his own account of his ministry. It's in 1 Thessalonians chapter 2. He gives us this, beautiful model of unwavering authenticity, even when things were incredibly tough.
Okay.
Paul reminds the Thessalonians, "You yourselves know, brothers and sisters, that our reception among you was not without effect." Basically, it made an impact. Rather, after we had suffered and been insolently treated, as you know in Philippi, we drew courage through our God to speak to you the gospel of God with much struggle. So this wasn't some easy ride, no carefully managed PR.
No, definitely not smooth sailing. And what really stands out about Paul here is how he explicitly rejects those common traps, things that can undermine genuine leadership or really any kind of public service.
How so?
Well, he clarifies his motives, his methods. He says, "Our exhortation was not from delusion or impure motives, nor did it work through deception."
Okay, straight up.
Yeah. "But as we were judged worthy by God to be entrusted with the gospel, that is how we speak, not as trying to please men, but rather God who judges our hearts." He's essentially saying, look, we weren't trying to fool you or manipulate you.
No hidden agendas.
Exactly. And he goes into more detail. "Nor, indeed, did we ever appear with flattering speech, as you know, or with a pretext for greed, God is witness, nor did we seek praise from men." He's saying we didn't use flattery, we weren't after your money, we weren't looking for applause, even though, he adds, although we were able to impose our weight as apostles of Christ.
Wow, that's interesting. He could have thrown his weight around.
Right. He had significant authority, influence, but he deliberately chose vulnerability and humility instead of manipulation or, self-promotion.
That's powerful that he had the option to impose, but actively chose not to. Instead, he talks about a totally different approach, one that seems rooted in genuine care and service. He says, "Rather, we were gentle among you, as a nursing mother cares for her children."
Wow, what an image.
Isn't it? And he continues with such deep affection. "With such affection for you, we were determined to share with you not only the gospel of God, but our very selves as well. So dearly beloved had you become to us." This isn't just like delivering a talk. He's investing his whole self.
Yeah.
It makes me think about those times, when you encounter a leader or someone who isn't just giving instructions, but is truly investing themselves in the people around them. We all see the difference that makes, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's that rare person who prioritizes genuine care over just, control or getting results or seeking praise. Paul was clearly operating from a totally different motivation.
Seems like.
His example really shows this profound commitment to authenticity, sharing not just a message, but his very self. It's an internal attitude reflected outward, not some external show put on to impress or control.
So it flows from the inside.
Exactly. His actions, his words, they flowed from a pure heart, not from external pressure or self-interest. He wasn't looking for personal gain or applause. His driving force was genuine love and dedication. It makes it clear that integrity isn't just about, not doing bad things.
Right.
It's about actively living from a place of genuine selfless care, where your true self shows up consistently.
Okay, so if true integrity is about the heart, and our actions kind of flow from that inner source, who actually knows our heart? I mean, really knows it.
Yeah.
And how do we even start that inner work, that cleansing, when so much feels hidden, even from ourselves sometimes?
Yeah, that's the deep question.
This brings us to a really beautiful and powerful reflection from Psalm 139. It underscores this profound transparency of our inner lives before, something much bigger than us.
Okay.
The psalmist writes, "O Lord, you have probed me and you know me. You know when I sit and when I stand. You understand my thoughts from afar."
Wow, from afar.
Yeah. "My journeys and my rests you scrutinize. With all my ways you are familiar. Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know the whole of it.
Every word.
Behind me and before. You hem me in and rest your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to attain."
What's crucial there, I think, is the complete transparency. Our inner lives, totally open before this divine awareness. It's not just what we say or do, our visible actions. It's what we think, what we plan, even our unspoken intentions, maybe our unconscious biases. It really drives home the point that putting on an outward show doesn't mean much if the inside isn't aligned and well-known.
Right, because it is known.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This deep knowledge means there's really no hiding. Our internal world is laid bare, which makes inner purity kind of the main thing, right? Paramount. It's a powerful nudge towards honest self-assessment, knowing that nothing's truly hidden, not even the stuff we try to ignore in ourselves.
Yeah.
It brings a level of accountability that's way beyond what any human eye could demand.
And this idea of divine discernment, it isn't just some abstract thing from long ago. For people of faith, it's seen as active, personal, even now. We see this echoed beautifully in the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 12.
What does it say?
It states that the Word of God is living and effective, able to discern reflections and thoughts of the heart. It's portrayed as this active force that reveals what's really going on inside us.
Yeah.
It challenges us to look honestly at our deepest motivations.
And if we connect that thought, that deep awareness of being fully known, it leads pretty naturally to this heartfelt cry for inner change, for transformation.
Makes sense.
This is captured so powerfully in that ancient prayer from Psalm 51, verse 10. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and put a new and right spirit within me.
Ah, yes.
That's the ultimate goal, isn't it? Not just to look clean, but to be made clean, to have a heart that's genuinely pure and a spirit that's truly renewed. It's this deep longing for alignment, for an integrity that isn't just a performance, but a fundamental way of being. And this feeling is echoed really strongly in something called the Clean Hearts Reflection. It puts it like this. Jesus reminds us that true holiness begins within, not in outward appearances. Our inner purity matters more than external show. And then it says, today, let us work on cleansing our hearts so that our actions flow from genuine love. It's a direct challenge, really, for all of us, to live from that deeper, more authentic place.
So, wrapping this all together, what does this mean for you listening right now? We've gone from Jesus's really stark warnings about hypocrisy, straining out gnats but swallowing camels, to Paul's incredible example of authentic, selfless service, investing his whole self. And then the psalmist's deep acknowledgement of this all-knowing perspective that sees right through the surface. The message, it seems remarkably consistent, incredibly clear.
Yeah, it really hangs together.
True value, genuine character, lasting integrity.
Yeah.
It all stems from within. It's not about ticking boxes or putting on a show for others. It's about the deep, honest work inside.
Which brings up a really important question for each of us just in our day-to-day lives. Are we prioritizing the weightier things? Fairness, compassion, trustworthiness. Are those more important than the superficial stuff?
Good question.
Are we actually aiming for that inside-out cleanliness, a transformation starting at our core, not just, polishing the outside for everyone else?
Yeah.
These texts really challenge us. Are our actions flowing from genuine love, from a pure heart? Or are they just, external performances, like polishing that cup while leaving the inside dirty? It really calls for some deep thinking about our own motivations.
It absolutely does. And that call to genuine love, to inner integrity, it's summed up so well in that Clean Hearts Reflection prayer we mentioned. It asks, help me to value mercy and justice above appearances. Teach me to live with integrity from the inside out. May my actions reflect the purity of my heart.
That's a powerful plea.
It really brings it all together, doesn't it? Offers a clear, kind of actionable path forward for personal growth, especially in a world that tempts us constantly to just focus on the surface.
For sure.
The journey to being well-informed, it isn't just about piling up facts. It's about internalizing wisdom, right? Letting it actually shape who we are deep down. And this deep dive into these ancient texts, it gives us such a clear lens for self-reflection on what's real, what's authentic. It's a powerful reminder that true, lasting change doesn't start with polishing the outside for show.
No.
It starts with purifying the inside.
Yeah.
With the intentions, the motives that maybe only we, and perhaps a higher power, truly know.
So as you reflect on all this, maybe consider that question posed right in our sources. What steps can I take today to focus on inner transformation rather than just external appearances? What might that actually look like for you in your life, your interactions, maybe at work or in your relationships, or even just in those quiet moments when you're reflecting by yourself? How can you truly clean the inside of your own cup?
That's the real work. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into, the profound journey of inner cleansing and authentic living. Until next time, keep digging deeper into what truly matters.